copyright notices. If you wish to read, pause the video. The original videos are linked in the description down below. Enjoy. Alright then, so in this one we're looking at take our rights back. Is it Hull still at Clough Road Police Station, my hometown? And I broke this video up into two sections, otherwise it would be like a 40 to an hour video. And obviously I'm not going to make videos that long. You guys won't watch that length of video, so I broke it up into two lengths. So let's just get straight into it.
Hiya, miss.
Hello.
Can I just have 2 minutes of your time?
Yeah, it depends what you want to talk to me about. So you are being recorded on body worn, okay, and you are on CCTV from the building.
Why we recorded?
Because I'm talking to someone, a member of the public.
Alright, so is that the policy? You're engaged with someone that you're supposed to record?
I would do, yes. If you're recording me, I'm within my rights to record you as well, and I've let you know I'm doing so.
Okay, alright.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alright.
Alright, so that's off to a good start. She's told him immediately that she is recording. She doesn't have to identify herself yet because they don't have to identify unless if asked to by the said member of public. But so far so good.
So yeah, all I want to know is how long's this police station been built? Like how long do you know, miss?
In all honesty, I've not got a clue.
Are you based here?
I am, yes.
What's this police station called, sorry?
Clough Road.
Clough Road. And how long have you been based here, miss, if you don't mind me asking?
Have I?
Yeah.
3 years.
So,
okay, then take our rights back. I'll try and answer some of the questions which you've asked. I believe in 2009 they bought an 8-acre site, because it is 8 acres, that site what the station is built on. And it used to be an old gas station. You should see, I think it's next door or a bit further near the bridge. There is the old gas, there's still a gas tower there. And this used to be a part of that site. It's no longer a part of that site. Like I said, they bought it 2009, I believe, because they outgrow the other one. And obviously they started building immediately. I believe it was 2011 when they actually finished building the building. Around March time, something like that. This is just off the top of my head. I can't remember 100%. It was in the papers back in the day. But those are the rough numbers I can barely remember. So it's something like that. I know it's 8 acres of land they bought. I remember that. And I'm pretty sure that was in 2009. I can't remember when they finished it. I'm pretty sure it was 2011 when they actually finished building the police station. But it's a massive station.
So, good. So this is what I want to tell you. Do you know about the policeman's friend? They call it the policeman's friend. It's called Section 50 of the Police Reform Act. Do you know that one?
Not off the top of my head.
So it's antisocial behaviour, isn't it? So if you believe that a member of the public's acting in an antisocial manner, you've then got the power to request their details. So name, address, date of birth.
Yeah.
If they don't give you it, right, then there is a consequence, and that consequence is you get arrested and took into custody. However, around about 2.5 years ago, at this police station, it was getting misused and abused with Section 50. So people were turning up with cameras and videoing, and to get the details, it's good to know under Section 1 of pay. So if you were going to search me under Section 1 of pay, say whatever grounds you had, reasonable grounds, right, first and foremost, you know as a police constable that once you've carried out that search, I do not have to give you my personal details. Right. Same as Section 43, you know that I don't. So how the police constables, now I'm not saying you, miss, because I don't know, I've never met you, and you've been quite cordial if I'm honest, and that's the way it should be, because this helps build bridges, doesn't it?
Well, I don't see why not. There's no need not to be, is there?
Well, it helps build bridges, doesn't it?
Okay then, so I'm not going to go into Section 50 of the Police Reform Act of 2002 again. I did that in yesterday's video, so I don't feel like I have to repeat myself again. If you watch yesterday's video, it's basically the same as this video. So I'm not going to go into that again. I am going to try not interrupt as much, unless if I have to, if he mentions a new legislation or something along them lines where I will get into it, then yes. But it's quite funny how that's like two officers now which haven't really heard or used of Section 50. which is a bit weird considering the memo they sent out told them what other sections to use instead of section 43 and 1.
To be fair. Yeah. So anyway, so what they were doing is someone must have come up with a brainstorm, right, and they were saying, right, section 50 of the police reformer. But what it is, a couple of my colleagues had come here, right, so they were sort of manoeuvred into a corner where it was either give me your details or we're going to arrest you.
Right.
So obviously they've given details.
Is this recently?
Well, about 2.5 years ago.
Oh, right.
2.5, 3 years ago. So what they were doing is they were giving the details, right, under duress.
Yeah.
But then what happened is then they went off to a solicitor and made a civil claim.
Okay.
And then, unfortunately, them civil claims come out with the taxpayers' money, doesn't it?
Right.
Do you believe though, if a constable does something wrong with this, right, so like say the misuse and abuse legislation, and it goes to a civil court, don't you think that should come out with the constable who's misused and abused the legislation, shouldn't it come out with their pension?
I don't know about pension. I'd like to think that we all don't misuse and abuse our powers. We all know what's right and wrong, and as you see, we can have a perfectly normal conversation. And if people are reasonable, there's no issue to go further than being reasonable, is there?
Exactly.
So I wouldn't like to make comment on things like that. I mean, I don't use and abuse my powers. I know what my powers are.
Well, you've seemed quite cordial, to be fair, miss.
Yeah.
So, maybe 7 months ago, 8 months ago, I made a video on about this exact sort of thing, about public liability insurance for police officers. Police do have like a public liability insurance which is paid for with tax money, not individual police themselves. So the police do have an insurance which covers for like civil liability cases, but which I didn't really make clear then, it shouldn't be paid for out of tax money. They should make every single police officer pay for a certain amount of it themselves, or get rid of that completely and make each police officer pay for their own public liability insurance, because like she said, most of them don't abuse it, and the ones that do abuse it, if they had to financially pay for their mistakes, they would think about their actions before actually doing something stupid. But this is it's a whole different ball game when you go into something like that. There's a lot what goes into it. It's not as simple as just setting it up.
And do you know what? Do you know why I'm saying that, miss? Right, because if it did come out, like say this constable, I'm not saying you have, I'm just saying for an example, mate. Right, so say he misused and abused section 50 now on me, right, and then I take it to a civil court and I win, but it come out of his ass pocket, he'd be more reluctant to misuse and abuse the legislation, because he knows that he's going to have a financial penalty. Then it come up with taxpayers' money, right, like mine and your money.
Is that what you're doing here today, asking people?
Yeah, well, do you know what it is, to be fair? I've seen some bad interactions, like we've just been saying there, about section 50 getting misused and abused at this police station.
Yeah.
But today, I've just been speaking to Mars and 2 of your colleagues.
Yeah.
I've had a proper cordial conversation there. I thought you were getting a bit paranoid, but I sort of get it, because you thought, I think, I thought, but you know what, if I did get any on that footage, right, you're talking about being reasonable, I would blare that out anyway, you know, because at the end of the day, I don't want to be putting sensitive information all over. All over
you'd
the
be
place.
sharing other people's information.
Yeah, exactly. Even though I'm not held under GDPR, but it's that magic word that you just said, reasonable.
Yeah.
One question, I'll let you go. So I don't think you have got it on, but there is a Union Jack, right?
Yes. So you can ask me about the blue line, are you?
Yeah. So what my question is, I know what it's for. It's for like colleagues and that's passed away or even died in the office, right? But my question is this, right? Like it or not, right? And I'm not going to dress it up. There is people that die in police custody. On some occasions, there's people who've been murdered in police custody. And I think you'll be aware that there's a bridge that needs building between the police and the public, right? So if they're going to wear one for fallen colleagues, if the war one that was designed for people who's been murdered or died for whatever reason in police custody, I think it'd help build that bridge, and you're supposed to be impartial anyway, aren't you?
And that's probably the best point is made so far. They're supposed to be impartial, so really they shouldn't have that badge on at all. Really, I don't believe it. They should have it on. End of the day, a lot of our grandparents have died in the wars to protect our freedoms, and then you got tyrants, not like these, but you do get tyrants which want to take them away from us and punish us and do everything they can to stop our freedoms from happening. You'll see that in a couple of other videos, and a video went viral a couple of weeks ago, or a week or so ago, about saying communist China and stuff like that. So yes, it's got that right. They're supposed to be impartial. They shouldn't be there to side with one or the other. They should be impartial and see both sides, but they don't.
Well, I mean, everyone's always open to coming up with things that will build bridges, aren't they? And would you say the same to a soldier? I know because soldiers often wear things to commemorate their fallen. Would you be saying the same thing to them?
100%, because you know why,
then
miss?
I've got no issue with it.
I'm sure your granddad, probably your nana as well, had some part in the war.
Yeah.
And some of our grandparents died in the war. You know, so like it or not, it is a
it's the same for everybody, every service, every public service.
But why does it have to be? Why does it have to be our country's flag, right? Decoloured as well. It's not the...
That argument there is pretty irrelevant, because we have poppies. Poppies is not our flag. It's a representation of each soldier. A poppy represents the fallen soldiers, which fell to fight for our freedoms. You don't fight for our freedoms, so you can't really compare yourself to a soldier when you're not higher. You don't do what a soldier does. A soldier puts himself in danger, having bullets flew at him or her to protect our freedoms. What we're seeing from you in the later years is you're just trying to take our freedoms away. That's all we're seeing. Especially over COVID, we've seen that a hell of a lot.
Proper colours, why can't it be some kind of different symbol?
I don't wear one side.
I know, and I appreciate that, because again, when I've seen videos, 9 times out of 10, the constables that you see with them badges on, right, are usually tyrannical.
Right, okay.
That's just my experience, what I've seen, no, miss. But listen, I can't...
To your own opinion, aren't you?
Well, I can't fault you. You've been quite cordial, and that's the way it should be, because like I was saying to your two colleagues around there, do you know me and you stood here chatting like this? Helps build them bridge, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it does. And if you, like I said before, if you're reasonable, if you're coming up reasonable, because I mean it is a little bit intimidating when people come up to you. I mean, I'm a police officer, but with balaclavas on in your eyes.
It's not a balaclava, miss, come on.
No,
a balaclava's got 2 holes in the mouth, hasn't it?
Whatever it is, it can be a little bit intimidating, but you've been perfectly
So what did you do for a year ago when you were giving fines out for people who weren't wearing them, no?
Pardon?
Wasn't it intimidating for a year ago when we were ordered to wear them?
I don't know, what was 3 years ago when we were
COVID?
ordered to wear...
You know, we were ordered, and some constables, right, if you didn't have a mask on, right, were given fines out for it.
No.
So why is it...
I think I've just found my title. It's intimidating to see people in balaclavas. That's my title. Sorry, I had to say that. But yeah, it's got a point there, Annie, because during COVID, it was mandatory to wear a face covering, and if you wasn't, there was dishing out fines. We've seen those happen loads of times. If you want social distancing, fine. Like, this all goes back again, doesn't it, to the taking our freedoms away again. So why should we support a company, a corporation like themselves, which was taking our freedoms away?
Today, it's a bit, what did you say? What did you say? It is. Well, anyway, why was it? I can't think now. My mind's gone blank. But why wasn't it that intimidating?
It's not socially. Everybody's not wearing masks, is it? It's not the norm.
I don't know if you've seen the news lately, but they're saying infections are going back up.
Oh, right.
Okay.
So maybe it might be then. Maybe it might come back out. But
so, you know. But anyway, that's a all new conversation, and I'll have you here, and you'll be finishing shift. Do you know what I mean? Because I can talk a glass eye to sleep. Do you know what I mean? But listen, stay safe. I do appreciate that, because I've got a dangerous job. No one here, us two anyway, I can only speak for us two. None of us have got resentment for the police, because like I said to your colleagues down there, you know, we appreciate that. You still put your life on the line, you know, to keep the likes of us safe, you know. And what kind of world would we be living in if we didn't have guys like yourself?
Yeah.
But what we don't need is tyrannical idiots.
Yeah.
Because it spoils it for the likes of you two. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'll leave you with this one, sorry. I will leave you with this one. When I approached your car and I knocked on your window, your face said it all.
Wow.
Like, oh, here we go. Like, we've got one of them. You know.
I don't
but
know
listen,
if it did.
do you know, like, all coppers are not tyrannical. All auditors are not whatever you think they are.
Okay.
We're all nice people.
Yeah.
You know, just trying to hold people accountable. Like, if I banged him now, you'd hold me accountable, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? And I'd expect. Yeah, shall I go for it, miss?
I would like to see it.
How long have you been paired up with him?
Too long.
Too long.
Too long now.
Yeah, I got that when he come over your shoulder. I seen your eyes roll. To be fair.
I do it to his face. No. Right,
right. See you later. Listen, miss. Thank you. See you later.
So again, a good interaction. Can't really fault it. They was more than willing and open to actually have a conversation. You don't really see that anymore. Most of them are like too busy or ignore you, especially if you got a camera. They don't want to know. This here again is a perfect demonstration of how police should interact with members of the public. It, like keeps saying, it's all about building the bridge, and this is a good way of building the bridges. PCSOs are not. PCSOs are supposed to be out there building bridges and helping the community, and they're not. They're on a power trip because egotistic warriors which don't have any power at home or have any power at all, or they're bullied or something. Because the minute they get on duty, they act like they get a power trip. But like I say, all this is just my opinion. But let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this interaction. As always, like the video, it does open YouTube's algorithm, and I'll catch you on the next one.